Welcome. This is the Thrift Store Rundown, bringing Hollywood home on a budget. Like the bot says, this game is going to blow your mind. So too will the price that I paid for it and the story behind it. If you're not familiar with National Geographic Channel's Emmy-nominated Brain Games, it is a show that explores cognitive science by focusing on illusions, psychological experiments, and counterintuitive thinking. In other words, it utilizes fun challenges and sleights of hand that demonstrate how and why our brains work the way that they do. Come Monday, it will return for its 8th season with a new Hollywood-esque game show-like format, courtesy of the Emmy Award-winning Magical O's, responsible for Bravo's Top Chef and several other reality television properties, including Last Time Standing for NBC. Keegan-Michael Key will be hosting, and more information can be found by clicking the link in the description below, which will take you to the press release via the Futon Critic. Keegan-Michael Key, one half of Key and Peele, is pretty darn cool. Jason Silva, host of seasons 2 through 7, is also pretty good. But let's not forget who was the off-camera narrator for the first season. Anytime a television executive wants to have Neil Patrick Harris host something like those Old Navy Tonight commercials we so fondly remember from the holidays, he or she usually have a good head on their shoulders. Save for Best Time Ever on NBC, which tried to be the best time ever, but eventually wasn't. In any event, with more on gameplay, we turn once again to our friends at TTPM Toy Reviews.
It challenges your logic, vision, language skills, and physical coordination. Players must successfully complete challenges to earn game tiles from 4 challenge categories in order to win the game. Categories include vision, logic, language, and mind and body. On your turn, roll the die and move your pawn around the game board the number of spaces indicated. A pawn can move to any adjacent space in any direction. On each game board space, there's a tile, and you flip it over to see which category you'll be playing. The player to your left will draw the top card from the corresponding category card deck and read the question or challenge out loud.
A key on the keyboard seems to have stopped working. As a result, these words are all missing the same letter. What letter is it?
Oh, it's O.
Yeah.
If you answer correctly, you win the tile and place it on your scorecard. If you answer incorrectly, the tile gets flipped back over and remains on the board. Some of the cards are head-to-head challenges, which means that you must select another player to compete against for that tile.
In a moment, I will show the image to both players and ask a question. Each player only gets to answer once. The first player to answer correctly wins. Look at this sequence of shapes on top. You'll see that they follow a pattern. Which circle on the bottom completes the pattern?
A. B.
Whoever wins the challenge gets the tile, but if neither player wins, the tile remains. Additionally, you might flip over a game tile that says lose a turn, in which case you don't get to draw a card. Flip the tile back over and your turn ends. You'll want to remember where the lose a turn tiles are, so you can try to avoid landing on them if possible. If you land on a wild tile, you get to select any category for that turn, which comes in handy if you want to try to win a tile for a category you don't yet have. And don't worry if you end up collecting tiles of the same category, because if you collect any 2 additional tiles, on your next turn you can trade them in to select any category to play. Play that category as you normally would.
This is for 3 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, an appropriate age limit, and it's manufactured and produced by Buffalo Games. We have a 3-tier instruction sheet and a listing of components, including 192 game cards that form 4 categories of cards, including the bonus head-to-head challenge stack, 40 game tiles, 8 per category with 4 lose a turn and 4 wild tiles, 6 pawns, 6 scorecards, 1 game board, and 4 puzzle pieces. You have to assemble the game board yourself, and 1 game die. The object is to be the first player to collect a game tile from all 4 categories to win. So now that you know more about gameplay, I can just go ahead and review this. The scorecards, by the way, are double-sided, and they're accounted for. This is the card holder. Accordingly, you have to place each stack of cards in their corresponding category slot. The green hand here would stand for mind and body. The message blurb, the purple message blurb, stands for language. The reddish orange eye here stands for vision, and the blue brain stands for logic. Here we have the cards. This also came with a plastic band, which supposedly was to hold all the cards together in one stack, but did a piss poor job of doing so because some cards escaped anyway, so we'll discard that. So we have all 4 categories of cards, including the head-to-head cards, language, vision, mind and body, and logic. Let's go ahead and show you the logic here. Yeah, some are upside down, some are right side up. And given the condition that this was in, this was still in its shrink wrap packaging, by the way. I don't get why. Here are the game tiles and the 4-piece game board. Let's just go ahead and show you a couple of examples of challenges here. For one, head-to-head vision. If you're reading this, you have to cover this image up. In a moment, you would show the image to both players. When you do, both players would race to solve this puzzle. The first player with the correct answer wins. And the correct answer would be to find the letter C in this long list of O's in the 3rd row from the bottom. Right here. I see this challenge almost all the time in YouTube comment sections, and it's annoying. But in brain games, it can be fun. When presented with a high-pressure challenge, your brain's ability to distinguish detail from within a large set of information and filter out extra stimuli can leave us feeling stressed and can even affect your health. And boy, do I know that all too well. How about we show you another example, this time vision. Can you guess these 4 luminaries in the arts and sciences? I can. Albert Einstein, the Mona Lisa from Leonardo da Vinci, Mother Teresa, and our founding father, George Washington. And why can I guess them? Take a look at this fun fact. By the way, for every card here at the bottom, there's a small fun fact about our brains. Sometimes less is more. It's amazing how little information your brain needs to recall a familiar face or picture. These images are so ingrained in our minds that just a handful of pixels is all that's needed to retrieve that memory from the visual database in our heads. And that's a really good hint for you for how to approach this game. A lot of this game, and a lot of the gameplay, is based on memory function. How much information can we retain, and how long can we retain it? That is the fundamental basis and core principle behind this game. But really none of that would matter if it wasn't so darn fun, as people who watch brain games know. And I haven't watched brain games. But you know what? This would be a really cool introduction for me. And I might want to take a look to see how Keegan-Michael Key does when he hosts come Monday. Fun fact for you. I got this through in-store credit for the price of $4.99 and for 25% off. I'll get to the story momentarily. Think you can't be fooled? You just were. Read it again. Challenge your brain. See how you stack up in 4 mind-bending categories. Again, they are mind and body, logic, language, and vision. Which one of these faces has not been altered in any way? I'd say that one. You have to turn this upside down to see if you got it right. And look at that. I got it right. The other 3 look ridiculous. What you see is not always what you get. Brain Games unlocks the science behind the mysteries of why we say, see, feel, and act the way we do. Whether you're going head-to-head against another player or playing solo, you will discover loopholes in your perception of reality. And the answer to the question on the front, I believe this would be a language or logic question. The word you appears twice. Don't believe it? Read it again. Think you can't be fooled? You just were. Actually, I think this appears thrice. Thrice, by the way, meaning 3 times if you don't get math. Again, this is from Buffalo Games and Puzzles, an institution of Buffalo, New York, appropriately. I grade this a 4.5 out of 5. You're gonna have your brain rattled when you play brain games. But you know what? If you want to add some intelligence to your next family game night, this is the game to go for. about the in-store credit. That came about because I wanted to buy a 3D Blu-ray player for Mother. But she was insistent that I don't try to buy any electronics whatsoever from the thrift store without testing them first. So she had me get a refund for it, and they granted me store credit of $15 and 50-something cents that I had to spend the entirety of. I don't know if they've been listening to a lot of Rihanna, but they must have a lot of love on the brain. And a lot of smarts, too. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the thrift side. Thanks, Mom!